Hey everybody, welcome. We're here today to teach you how to create your own tulips painting. I have all my lovely supplies. I'm going to go over them just very quickly, and if you need any supplies, you can find them down in the description below. So today I'm working on an 8x10 canvas panel. I'm also going to be using these colors right here. Now, if you do not have one of these colors, at least make sure you have your primaries, blue, red, and yellow. You can always mix some yellow and blue to get your green, and then you want a little bit of black and white paint as well. I have my brushes here. If you don't have all of these types of brushes, just make sure you have at least like one square brush, one pointy brush, and like a medium brush, something in between. I have a can of water. You can also use a cup or a bowl or anything else that is handy to keep water in. Some paper towels to dry off your brushes once you take them out of the water. And we're all set to go. Alrighty, first thing we're gonna do is fill in our background. So I recommend grabbing a paper plate or a piece of cardboard, something where you can mix up your colors on. We're gonna start with a larger flat brush. I'm using this blue brush here. And we're gonna be mixing up a very, very light blue. So I'm going to start off by taking a scoop of white and a tiny touch of blue and mixing those up to get just a very light sky baby blue. It's a very soothing color, I think. Once we have our color to the shade that we like, because of course you can do any color that you like, once you get it mixed up, we're going to go ahead and start painting from the top edge of our canvas, from edge to edge, side to side. If you are painting flat on your table, I do recommend possibly putting something underneath of your canvas or paper, just so you don't accidentally paint your table. It may end up looking like this table. So I'm going to be painting down to about the halfway point. Once you're there, before your paint dries out, what I want us to do is clean off your brush, lightly tapping it on the bottom of your water can, bowl, cup, whatever it is, drying it off, and grabbing just some pure white paint. What we're going to do is start painting some white right underneath the blue first, getting a good chunk of this white in. Once we have this bit of white, what we're going to do is slowly work our way up into that blue and then work back down, still going from side to side. Back up, back down, and you can see that our white and our blue are mixing together to create this really beautiful gradient so that it goes from a light blue to a white. Biggest thing is you don't want any stopping points in your colors. You don't want any defined lines in color. It should all be very mixed. You could even throw a couple bit of white streaks throughout the top of your sky to help give the illusion of clouds or mist or just, something else than just a plain solid color. And then I'm going to fill up the rest of my canvas down here at the bottom with white paint, not cleaning off my brush. Just letting the little bits of blue on my brush mix in with the white so we get some fun coloration throughout the bottom. Once you get your background completed, make sure you clean off your brush and dry it off so that it will be good to use if you need to use it again. All right, we're done with our background. So at this point, we do need to let our paintings dry. If we put anything on top of them, it'll get pretty muddy. So I recommend waiting about 10 to 15 minutes, or you can speed up the process by using something like a blow dryer and just use the heat setting and it will make it dry super fast.
5 minutes later.
All right, we're back. Next step, we're going to figure out where our tulips are going to sit in our canvas. For this one, we have 3. You're more than welcome to do as many or as few of these as you wish. And feel free to play with the colors. Feel free to play with the shape. They don't have to be tulips. They could be roses. They could be lilacs, baby's breath, whatever floats your boat. So for these flowers, we're going to do these all in one brush stroke. Each petal is going to be one brush stroke. I recommend using a medium flat brush, whether it's round at the end or squared is okay. Make sure you wake it back up with some water and dry it off. For my tulip color, it's going to be kind of a fiery red. So I'm going to grab a teeny tiny bit of white, a teeny tiny bit of yellow, and a nice big scoop of red. And I'm going to mix those up. Maybe add a touch more yellow and a touch more white. Play with the color until you get something you like. All right, here's my color that I am pretty happy with. So I'm going to start off by just putting a dot where I want my flowers to be. I have one kind of here just above the center on the left side, little boop. Then I have one that's towards the middle of my canvas and one that's in the top right corner. For these flowers, they're just going to be about 4 to 5 lines that we're going to draw down to a single point. I'll do an example here. So you'll start at the top, bring it down, top, bring it down to that same point, top, bring it down, top, bring it down. You can fix up all those edges if you want to, or you can just keep it really rough. Give it that kind of a Van Gogh style. Now we're going to do the same thing to our other flowers. Down. Always bringing it down to that same point. Feel free to curve some of these. One more. Beautiful. Now we have our main flowers. Next, we are going to be adding little bits of highlights to these flowers while they're still wet so that it blends in a little bit. So with a clean brush, I'm just going to turn this red a little bit lighter by adding a little bit of white here on the edge, mixing it in. You want it to be pretty contrasting. You don't want them to be the same. If they're the same, add a little bit more white. And then we're just going to very sloppily throw some of these lines in on these petals. And there you go, easy peasy tulips. Next step, we're going to be creating all the stems, leaves, and grass in this painting. For this, we're going to need to mix up a nice lime green. I'm going to be switching over to a pointy brush. And to mix up this lime green, I'm going to grab a scoop of white, a scoop of yellow, and a very small touch of green. If you don't have green, a small touch of blue works just as well, but mostly yellow and white. Think of the type of slime that you get from Nickelodeon, if you remember that channel. All right, From there, we're going to start right underneath our tulips and we're going to draw a line down. Now the pointy brushes are pretty pressure sensitive, so you don't want to press too hard. Keep light pressure on your brush so you work your way down. Perfect. Now we're going to add our leaves. These are also going to be done with one paint stroke. Now, like I said, this is pressure sensitive brush. So all you have to do to make your leaves, when you're at the point of the leaf, at the top, light pressure. When you start bringing it down towards your stem, I want you to press your brush down onto the canvas pretty hard. And that will leave you with a nice leaf shape. Light pressure at the top. Press heavier as you get down towards the bottom. It's just so satisfying. All right, now it's time to think about our grass. So for our grass, you can either start at the top, use light pressure again, just bring it down to the bottom, or you can start at the bottom and flick upwards. As you flick up, you want your brush to come off the canvas so that it is nice and pointy down here at the bottom. Feel free to play with the lengths of your grass. Some can be really short, others can be a lot longer. You can curve them any which way you want. Perfect. Once we have our light green pretty much etching out our entire greenery, we want to add some darker hues of green to add some shadows. To mix a darker green, I'm going to be adding some more green paint to my mixture, but you can add some more blue and yellow to yours. Basically trying to cancel out the white paint we put in before. I am going to switch over to a smaller pointy brush. If you don't have a smaller pointy brush and only just one size, just make sure you add a very light pressure when you put this color in. We don't want to cover up all of this lime green. We want some of it to show behind it. So first we're going to start right underneath of our tulips by adding just a little U shape, and it makes it look like the stems are connecting to the flower. Next, I'm just going to add a little bit of this dark green throughout the stem. It's okay if you don't get one long line and it breaks apart a couple times, that's fine. Next, I'm going to be adding a couple of lines in our leaves. And then I'm going to be adding just a few blades of grass. Looking good. We have just one more step, and that is to add the darkest shadow to really define all of our flowers and leaves. We're going to be mixing up a brown. It's going to be a pretty tricky color, so let's try it out. We want to use that tiny pointy brush, and I want you to grab a scoop of yellow, a scoop of red, a tiny touch of black, and a tiny touch of white. And we're gonna mix those up to get a brown shade. If it looks really red, you wanna add some more yellow. If it looks too green, add some more red. All right, I got a nice brown shade here. With this brown, we're going to be adding a couple little lines, or little U shapes, down at the bottom of our tulips. This will help to really define the petals. So I have this U shape here, little U, and then a couple lines here on the edge. Maybe a line in the middle. Same thing over here. Got this like UV shape. Some shadows. And then we also want to put a couple of these lines with this brown down into our grass. Now that is the last and final step to your painting. Of course, you can add anything else that you wish. You can add some birds, some bees, a butterfly, more flowers. It's really up to you. But of course, when you're done with your painting, the last and final step is to sign your name. Most people sign it down in the bottom corner, but you're more than welcome to sign it wherever you wish on your painting, maybe even the back. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I had a lot of fun. This is a nice, easy painting for everybody of all ages. If you love this tutorial and you wish to see more, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. And feel free to post your paintings down in the comments below or post on social media and tag us at Muse Paint Bar. We'll see you guys again next time.